Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Nicocast. Today I'm here with Jack Gordon. So tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Jack Gordon. I have a YouTube channel called Jack Gordon. I talk about technology, and I have been doing that for about 6 years, but I've kind of been all over the place. I always just wanted to be a YouTuber, and I never really knew what I wanted to talk about. Like, a lot of people start a channel because they have a passion of technology or a passion of science. I just have a passion of making videos. So I've spent kind of years trying to figure out what I want to do, but I've gotten to the point where I really think I've found what I want to do. I've been making a lot of videos about kind of technology people don't really talk about, like algorithms, like how do social media platforms know so much
Yeah.
about you, and things like that. Yeah, it's different. It's also cheaper because I don't have to buy a bunch of phones and stuff for every video. I can just use TikTok or something, which is a free app. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I talk about technology, and I put a lot of production value into my videos. So I don't upload a lot, but it take a really long time to make. And yeah, I'm working on one right now that is the biggest video I've ever made. So I'm really excited about it.
I'm excited for that video too. And there's not many, a lot of YouTubers just like upload like once a week and don't put that much effort into your videos, but you can tell that you put a lot of effort and it definitely shows in like the video and everything. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I used to, I've always kind of uploaded the same like amount. Like the last 3 years that I've been in high school, I've always only uploaded once every couple of weeks. But there was a time when it was just like I could be uploading every week, but I just kind of was being a little lazy about it. Like I wasn't spending as much time devoted to YouTube, but I've gotten way more like devoted to it recently. And now it's like these videos, because I'll have these ideas, and it's like these videos will take like all
Mhm.
3 weeks to make, because I mean I'll have school all day and then I'll have other stuff going on. So like for example, the one I'm working on right now is I'll give you a little spoiler alert. I don't know when this will come out. I'm sure my video will be out by the time people listen to us. The title is going to be 0 to 100,000 TikTok followers in 7 days without
That's
doing a single
interesting.
trend. Yeah, that's the title. Because I actually did that. And I did that because I don't know if you saw, I did a video a while ago called I Figured Out the TikTok
Yeah.
Algorithm. It was just like how the algorithm works, right?
Mhm.
And again, I'm not one of those social media gurus. And I want to say that because I hate those people. Like they get a few thousand followers on social media and they're like, oh, like here's
Do this
how
to blow
here's how
up.
to grow on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
3 ways to grow on YouTube. Like, no, if you knew, I mean, you would have like 1 million followers. But regardless, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just not one of those guys. I talk about the algorithm because I think it's fascinating that they like know so much about you and they're able to kind of influence so many of our decisions. And so, I used to only talk about like phones and stuff, and I still do, but that's the stuff that I feel like really matters. You know what I mean? But so I'm working on this video, and basically it's to test what I learned in the first video. Like, how well do I really know the algorithm? So I have 7 days. The goal is to get to 100,000 followers on TikTok in 7 days. Meanwhile, I also test a bunch of stuff. I interview a famous TikToker, and I even use
Wow.
code to analyze 10,000 random TikToks, which is a huge step up from the original video, which is only 100. So yeah, it's a huge video. I've been working on it for about a month, and it'll probably be up in the next few days, hopefully. I mean, I just started the editing process a couple days ago, which tells you something.
Yeah.
Like, I just started editing. I've been filming ever
Wow.
since. So yeah, a lot of footage here, but I'm really excited about it. And so yeah, it's probably a long answer, but the moral of the story is I spent a really, really long time on my videos. They're all like, it's been a really long time. It's like Mark Rober, but like not as good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm so excited for that video. This podcast will be out in like 2 weeks. Well, 1 week.
Oh, I
So
think the video will be out then. You guys got to check it out.
yeah, it'll be in the description of this video.
Big time.
So who was your inspiration for YouTube?
Well, that's a great question. I'm going to give the first answer that you've probably heard everyone on your podcast say, which is, of course, Casey Neistat. But I've had a million influences because, as I said, like, I used to not upload that often, not necessarily because I didn't have the time for it. I mean, if you asked me then, I would have said, no, I don't have the time. But it's because I was making time for other things. And I still try to make time for other things, but I've kind of recently realized, like, if I'm trying to make this into a career, I got to start, working a little harder at it. And it wasn't that I wasn't working hard, but I was spending other time doing other things. Like, for example, I told you, I'm a magician. I spent a
Yeah.
long time working on that, and I still do. But I spent a lot less time practicing than I used to. I used to spend almost equal time with the YouTube and the magic, and now I'm exclusively doing YouTube. I mean, I'm still doing shows, but I'm just trying to let YouTube take over my priority list because I want that to be like the thing I do number one. But the reason I bring that up is because when I started, Casey Neistat was my biggest influence, and so that was during the time that people were uploading like every day, and so all I wanted to do was upload every day, like Casey. And that's what kind of worked on YouTube. Obviously now, like what works on YouTube is like Mr. Beast will only upload once every like couple weeks, but you would never know it,
Yeah.
right? No one's saying like Mr. Beast, you don't upload enough, right? Because his videos are just so good that you'll watch it
Yeah.
and you won't even matter that he doesn't upload, you know? Plus he's been uploading for so long that he has such a huge catalog of videos that if you wanted to watch Mr. Beast, you could go and watch like 100 videos right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have to upload daily anymore, which is great. And so I think that the new trend is to put a little more time into your videos. But when I started, all I wanted to do was like be like Casey Neistat, and just like upload every day. But as far as like the videos I'm making now, I would say there's 4 pillars that make me who I am. 4 pillars. Yeah. Like, okay, here's what I'm going to say. You've got like the tech side. You've got like Marquez Brownlee, who makes me want to talk about like phones, right? Of course. Then you've got like the personable side, which is like Casey Neistat, like making it a little more real. Then you've got like the production value side, which is Captain Disillusion. He's a huge inspiration to me because he is like a legit filmmaker. Like he could have a series on Netflix. He's totally legit, but he just happens to put his like films on YouTube. He's amazing. He talks about like visual effects. Which is, you know, a channel that wouldn't necessarily be interesting to a lot of people, including myself, but he makes these videos incredible quality by enhancing them with visual effects. It's insane. And then the final guy I would say kind of that makes me more entertaining to listen to is Vsauce. You know, Vsauce is great. I love Vsauce because he talks about things that like your high school physics teacher would talk about and everyone would be asleep. You know what I mean? It's like he'll call a video
It's interesting.
Right? But it's not that interesting. Like, but he makes it interesting. You know, he'll call a video laws and causes, and the thumbnail is a graph. That's literally one of his videos, and has like 5 million views because it's Vsauce. So everyone's gonna click on it and listen to him, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, Vsauce, Michael here." You know, he's gonna do this whole thing, and he's great about that. It's just that astounds me that he's taken this thing that is science, you know, something that most people are not very interested in, and made it so interesting to listen to, where you just watch the video because it's Vsauce, even if you don't care anything about it. And I'd love to do the same thing for tech. I've tried to become like the Vsauce of tech, where I'm talking about things like algorithms or the Apple glasses or things like that. And it's like, you know, no one really cares that much, or not no one, but a lot of people watching that are not here to learn about it. They're here because it's entertaining. So those are the 4 guys that have taught me like entertainment, production quality, being personable and likable, and kind of my subject matter comes from Marquez. So there you go. As well as, I mean, there's a million other influences, but those are the 4 guys I would say have kind of come together to create my channel, plus a little more, you know.
Yeah. All those are great people.
For sure.
YouTubers. So why did you decide to make the TikTok algorithm video? Like, how did you come up with the idea? Like, what was the process of making that video?
Yeah. So for a long time, as I said, I was doing technology content, and I used to always say like, you got to be someone different. You got to do something that no one else is doing. But I didn't really practice what I preached. I would say that, but then I would kind of just copy someone. I went through phases, and a lot of YouTubers go through phases. I think a lot of great YouTubers do too. If you've ever seen Ryan Trahan, he's a great example of that. Over the course of the last 3-4 years, he's changed his content maybe like 5 times.
Yeah.
He started off as a running YouTuber, then he did commentary, then he became a vlogger over the summer. Now he's doing Mr. Beast style videos, which he's also kind of done a little bit. So that happens, and that happened to me. When I started, I was doing like vlogs, just straight up Casey Neistat ripoffs, and I was copying him. Then I started copying Unbox Therapy. If you go back to my old videos, my setup was white table, gray background. I mean, it was the perfect Unbox Therapy setup. Yeah, and then I started copying Marquez Brownlee. I started doing the really blurry background in the background, and then I started using his music even. I don't know how I wasn't self-aware of this. I was like, you're really using his music? Like, this is taking it a little bit too far. And I kind of this year over the summer realized it's like, what am I doing? Like, no one's going to watch my content if it's just the same as someone else's. But
exactly.
worse. Right. I mean, there's nothing good. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that people are getting out of this that they're not getting out of someone else. And I realized, what's the point of making these review videos if A, they cost me money, and B, they're never going to be as good as Marquez's, so no one's ever going to really trust me with these. Why don't I do something that no one else is doing? So I was like, okay, what's a tech product that I can afford, that I can talk about, and that I can, talk about that no one else is doing? Well, TikTok is a free app that I already have. And I've been fascinated since March, since I really blew up, of why TikTok is the way that it is. I don't understand why, unlike on every other social media platform,
Same.
the TikTok celebrities are not celebrities, right? Like they don't have a lot
Yeah.
of talent. It's just odd. Like people idolize these people, but they're regular people. I
You
mean,
just
like
need to do
sure on
like
YouTube and whatever. I mean, we're all
this.
regular people, but like, I mean, at least like, for example, Vsauce, like he's famous on YouTube because he's so entertaining and says such interesting science facts, and he'll do like experiments and stuff. But then like the science people on TikTok, like they're just reading articles. Like
Google.
they're not saying it in a very entertaining way. They're just like, guys, I just found out that, and these videos will get millions of views, right? Or
Yeah.
of course, the most egregious example is like dancing. Like someone will make a dance and someone will do the dance, and it's like, yeah, like you're okay at dancing, but then you have like 100 million followers. I'm not gonna name names, but
Yeah. Well, let's not name names.
yeah, not naming names here, but dancer with 100 million followers. I don't know who I could be talking about, but regardless, it's a weird app, and I'm fascinated as to why people love these creators on it so much, because it's like these are just regular people, and again, they're not bad people. I don't like the hate that these people get. It's not their fault. They're not bad people, but like they're not like if you can idolize like Beyonce or something because they're like actually a talented person, but you've got like these TikTokers that's like it's not like you're not talented, but like why are you so famous? Regardless. So that fascinated me. Why is TikTok the way it is? How does it choose random creators to just put up to the top when they're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing? So I said, okay, that's a question that I have that I think no one really knows the answer to. Here's TikTok, an app that is free that I could easily talk about. Now I just got to come up with a script. And so I thought, how can I analyze this app? And the first thing that came to mind is I'm just going to watch as many For You page videos as I can and write down as many statistics as I can and try and find data trends and see if, like, on average, videos with this hashtag get more likes, or on average, videos with an original sound get more likes, or with a famous sound get more likes. And so I get all this data. And my original plan was to watch 1,000 videos, but I watched 100 and it took me 2 weeks. And so I said, okay, yeah, I can't watch any more of these. But it
sounds easy, but it's hard.
Oh yeah, and because it took 10-15 minutes per video, it took me maybe more. It took me 2 weeks to watch just 100 videos because I was collecting data on everything. I wrote down the comments, likes, shares, if it had an effect, what the effect was, how long the video was, exactly like to the second. I wrote down who made the video, how many followers the person who made the video was, if they were verified or not, if it was duet or not. And I think I also did like a short synopsis of the video as well. And I copied down the description exactly. Like I copied down everything from every video because I didn't know what I was looking for. So it was like, right. I mean, I don't know if the trends are going to be like, oh, these videos happen to have more comments or these, I didn't know. So I just got data on every single thing. And so for each video I would come across, it would take me like 10, 15, 20 minutes just to get all this data because I would have to time it. I mean, it was a nightmare. So I did this 100 times. I got 100 different videos worth of data, and I made this video basically just based on that. And it was well received. I mean, I got like 500,000 views, which is a ton for my channel. And I was really, really proud of it. But a lot of comments were kind of critical. They were like, well, this is great and all, but correlation doesn't really equal causation. And what that means is, sure, I analyzed 100 TikTok videos, but just because a TikTok with an original sound happens to get more likes than these TikToks with a famous sound doesn't mean that the algorithm prefers original sound TikToks. Maybe it just seems there's a trend right now that happens to use an original sound and it's getting a lot of likes, right? It's such a small sample. It can't really prove that that's something the algorithm is doing. And so I took that, and that's why I'm making this next video. I've got anecdotal data now because I'm actually doing it. I've got the 10,000 TikToks that I had my friend use code to do what took me 2 weeks to do 100 videos. It took 10 minutes to do 10,000. We actually tried to do 1 million, but it crashed his computer. So, we're working on that. And I also did an interview with a big TikToker who saw my original video and contacted me. So really, really cool stuff. And I cannot wait for people to see it. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, if you asked me a year ago if I would be making this kind of content, I would have said, no way, that does not interest me at all. But, the first video was fun to make and it really did well. And that's a great combination. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Can you say who the TikToker was? Or
yeah, I can. So his name is Justice Shepherd. He's like 1.6 million, and he makes math TikTok. So the reason I think is really interesting to interview him is because he started in, I think, July of this year, and he's already at 1.6 million, which is not only really fast growth, but the video is 0 to 100,000 in 7 days without doing a single trend. And I'll talk about that in the video, why I don't do a single trend. It's all like weird stuff. I make videos like talking about this stuff. Like I make videos on TikTok talking about like technology. It's just like my YouTube channel, but just in vertical mode. So it's not me dancing. It's nothing like that. And I ultimately conclude in the video, like if you want to be famous, skip all trends. Don't do any of them. It's stupid. If you do a trend, you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing. If you're already big and famous, do the trends. But if you're starting at zero, the way to get noticed is not by doing the trends that everyone else is doing. I agree with that. Right. It's by doing something totally different, and maybe you'll start your own trend that way. You know what I mean? So that's the conclusion of the video. But regardless, that's why Justice Shepard is so interesting, because he's never done any trends. He's a math TikToker. He literally does like ACT, SAT math problems. And he'll be like, here's a math problem, 10 to the fourth power times 4 times, and here's how you solve it. And that's what he does. It's like an iPad with an Apple Pencil, and he's solving the problems. That's his account. 1.6 million followers. He has videos with like 20 million views, just solving math problems. And I think that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, he must know something here, because that's not usually what blows up on TikTok. So that was an interesting interview, and I can't wait to have that in the video. And you know, there's a million other things I do in this video, but that's just a good taste. I mean, I probably sound like I'm really hyping myself up here, but this is, I mean, the best video that I've ever made. I'm so excited about it, but I've also just been working on it for so long. So I just kind of want to be done with it. You know, I just want to get it out into the world. I've been teasing it for so long. I mean, in the end card, the end screen of my last video, it's like, subscribe because my next video is gonna be amazing. And that was like, I wrote that like 3 weeks ago. Like I'm still working on it. So it's kind of hard when you spend so long on a video, because you just have to wait so long. But now I know how actual filmmakers feel, who like, you know, pitch their movie around and spend years trying to get their script. You know what I mean? And all of that. YouTubers are so spoiled in that they can just have an idea and boom, have it published to the world like the same day. That's not how it always was. So now I kind of feel like I know how they feel. Yeah, and I can just, but what you have said about the video, I can tell it's gonna do better on your TikTok algorithm video. I can just tell. Thank you. That would be insane. I mean, the first video got 500,000 views, which is insane. And I don't know if you saw it, because I think it happened since the last time we talked. Those of you who are just listening, this is actually the second time. Can I say this? Yeah. This is actually the second time we're recording this interview. We recorded this interview about a month ago, but it got lost on Nico's laptop. But that's okay, because I always make time for the interview. That's okay. But regardless, I think this happened since last interview. ZHC commented on the TikTok algorithm video. Really? Which is really cool, because he's huge. You know, I mean, maybe he's ZHC. I don't know where you live. But ZHC commented on the TikTok video, and he was like, this is very insightful. And I thought that was crazy. I think he liked one of my tweets too. So that video was like as much success as I could ever dream of. So, I mean, if this video did even better, that would be incredible. But I hope it does, because, I mean, honestly, the first video the whole video was 100 TikToks. This is 10,000 TikToks plus an interview, plus coding, plus a million other things. So, yeah, I'm hoping it does well. Another TikToker did a video similar to this, Elliot Choi. He did it differently. He like tried to get 1 million in 1 week. And then the video did a lot better than his other videos. And just the fact that having TikTok in your title definitely boosts your video, I feel like. I think so too, for sure. Because a lot of like fan pages are gonna probably watch this video just because of TikTok in the name. Yeah, it's gonna be all about that thumbnail too. Okay, here's my thumbnail idea right now. You gotta give me some input if you think you have a better one, because I need a good thumbnail. The original video, the thumbnail was insane. I mean, I've said this before, the best thumbnails set up the story. So like Mr. Beast is the best at this. Like you want to put, a story is a setup, conflict, and resolution. You want to put the setup and conflict in the thumbnail and title. The resolution you'll get by clicking on the video. So like I got stuck or I survived being in ice for 24 hours. And the thumbnail, all right, he's in ice. So it's like the setup is like he's in ice. The conflict is like he's in there for 24 hours. Looks like he's frozen. Right in the thumbnail. The resolution, you click on it and you're gonna find out when you watch the video, right? So that's really important. And I did that really well with my TikTok algorithm video, which is why, I mean, it's not like significantly better than any video I've ever made, but it just happened to do way better. And I think it's that thumbnail. I mean, it's not like the best video ever, but it just did so well because the thumbnail is, my phone is holding a picture of Bella Porch, who blew up on TikTok because she had this one really viral video, and even she doesn't know, like nobody knows why it's so viral. And so there's a picture of that video. It's the most viewed video on TikTok. And she's like, and I'm holding it up. And on the side, it says 403 million, which is how many views it had at the time. And then on the side, it just says why. Right, exactly. So simple. Just phone, 403 million, why? Immediate recognizable. It's like, yeah, I don't know why she has 403 million. Let me click and find out. Boom. So super great setup of conflict and resolution comes when you watch the video. And even though I don't even really address that video in my TikTok video, like it just works. So I'm trying to come up with something good for mine. But so because this next one is kind of more about like myself growing on TikTok, my thumbnail idea was like, this is all I got right now. This is pretty weak, but we're working on it. It's like me, like, like the thumbnail face, like inside of a phone in the middle, right? I'm on the phone at this time instead of Bella Porch, me. And then on the side, you have like the certain dancer with 100 million followers, like, and then on the other side, you have the certain YouTuber with 50 million followers who goes by Mr. Beast, who's like, so you've got like Charlie D'Amelio. Oh, said I wasn't gonna name names, whatever. Charlie D'Amelio, Mr. Beast, and I'm like, oh, like they're looking at my phone, and on the phone, I'm like, and then you can see like in big bold text like how many likes the video has, and it says like 3 million likes or something, which I never got 3 million likes, but maybe total actually, like 3 million likes or something. That was the thumbnail idea, because it's like, oh my god, you're so famous,
Yeah.
That's all I got right now. I want to do something better, but that's all I can think of. Do you have any ideas?
I would like put something like you doing something like weird in the thumbnail so people get confused. If that makes any sense.
And so like wait, playing onto that without doing a single trend part.
Yeah, just like do like your face, and like below is like you playing Roblox or something, or like Minecraft.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do that.
No,
yeah.
I know you didn't do it, but people are gonna like, he blew up just because of Roblox.
Yeah,
like that,
that's
or like
a good one.
Something that's trending that's like weird. I don't know how to
for sure. Sense. I mean, TikTok in and of itself is kind of trending. It's always trending. People always want to watch videos about it. But yeah, no, I'll keep it into consideration. I think a lot of people try to like confuse people with their thumbnails, where they get so confused that they click. And that's a weird strategy. I mean, Vsauce is great with that. His thumbnails and titles are often confusing, but that like works for him. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for Mr. Beast. He's very straightforward with his titles and thumbnails. Like he'll literally tell you what happens in the video. Like, I gave away $100,000. Like that's the title or whatever. Like he tells you exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. No confusing of any sort. It just doesn't work for him. So it just depends on the kind of content you're doing. And I've tried it all. I'm in no way a good thumbnail designer. Like I'm decent at like graphic design, but I'm not good at like making the YouTube thumbnail that people want to click. Like if you ask me to design a poster, I could probably design a cool poster, but if I was like, if someone hired me on a big YouTube channel and started making thumbnails, their views would tank because I'm not good at it. Like, I just don't know. I sometimes strike home, like I strike home or whatever. Like I have a home run. What is this? Isn't today the World Series? Oh, Super Bowl. Never mind. No, I'm just kidding. But so, if you hired me on like Marquez Brownlee's channel and I started doing thumbnails for him, I bet you he would have a views tank, because I just don't know how to make good thumbnails. Like
it's like the Mayweather when he like announced he was like boxing Jake Paul after if Jake Paul beats his current opponent, and like the poster was like a 7-year-old's like drawing. It was so funny.
I mean, I would probably
see that?
I don't know. Again, I'm good at graphic design, and so I've made some good thumbnails, but it's like the idea I'll have for a thumbnail just isn't clickable. Like it's a good, I can make it look nice, but it's like, it's tough. But I know what a good thumbnail is, and I know that you have to do that setup and conflict. I just struggle to sometimes put my title into word form. Like for example, I did a video called "How Much Does Google Know About You?" and that's the video I was actually working on when I did the interview last. It was called "How Much Does Google Know About You?" And the idea was, it's like the Google search bar and the Google logo, and then like eyes like behind the search bar. That was the idea. And it was like transparent, like eyes behind it. That was the idea. I kind of made it. And I was like, okay, this took me like 5 minutes. Like this does not look very good. And I published it. It was my thumbnail for the video for so long, for like 3 weeks, because I could not come up with anything better. I was like, what else? How much does Google know about you? Look, there's eyes looking at you through the search bar, right? It did terrible. The video did terrible. So I was like, how do I make a better thumbnail? And I finally came up with one, and it was like, the new one is you've got the Google search bar on the side, a little bit like distorted, kind of sideways. Yeah. And you've got like text in this Google search bar, but it's pixelated, so you can't read it, which is a classic move. Then you've got a little bit of like darkness on the whole Google area. And then on the side, you have the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, who's looking at it like this. And I kind of manipulated his eyes, so he's looking this way. It's kind of like that. Now, Sundar Pichai is not super recognizable. Most people are not going to know who that is in the thumbnail, but it's just some creepy guy that's looking at your searches. Yeah. Kind of creepy, right? So it's a much better thumbnail now. But it took me almost a month after I uploaded that video to realize what thumbnail was going to work. And the video is doing better now than it used to be, but it took me so long to come up with a good thumbnail idea for that. And I struggle with that. I mean, that sounds so trivial and stupid, but it's like, I took so long before I came up with the idea of having Sundar Pichai looking at the search. Like it just never came to mind. I made like 10 other thumbnails for that, you know, or like my last one, the Apple glasses video. I mean, I have like 5 different thumbnails on my computer for that video. And I finally settled on the one that I went with, but I'm still like not perfectly happy with it because I was trying to find this balance of like, it's the Apple glasses. So I kind of have to make it look like it's Apple, but then also like it has to look like crazy, like different. So like I put like the shattered mirror in the background, like black mirror, but it's like, but is that too far from what Apple would do? Like it's just, it's tough. It's tough coming up with the perfect thumbnail, especially when there's a lot of Photoshop involved. Like with the Apple glasses, which is not a real product, but I have to put it in the thumbnail. So I have to Photoshop regular glasses. And it's like, how do I, you know, we don't really know what they're going to look like yet. So I kind of have to make a few choices on my own. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, when I was just doing phone reviews, it's pretty easy. You just held the phone. That was a thumbnail. And put like iPhone 12. But now it's like every video, I mean, I struggle with how to put these ideas into, you know, into pictures. And I'm sure Mr. Beast does too, because his videos are also often hard to put into a thumbnail. I mean, giving away $1 million, like what's the best thumbnail for that? You know what I mean?
Like holding like money is like, it's simple, I mean, that's but what like, he ends up like, doing. Yeah.
But it's like, is that the best thumbnail? I mean, I guess it must be. It's Mr. Beast, but I don't know. His thumbnails are always so creative. He had this one that was called like, push this button for $100,000. And the thumbnail was just a red circle. Like that was the whole thumbnail. It was like a red circle and it was like a button. So when you click the button, you get $100,000. And it was like, everyone knows when you click this video, you're not really going to win $100,000, but that's what he called it. And because the video featured a big red button where the people in the video could click it and win 100,000, and it worked. And the video's like got 50 million views, and it's the simplest thumbnail of all time. It's literally a red circle. So I don't know. It's just, there's so many ideas. There's all these strategies. I mean, you don't want to confuse people, but you want people asking questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough. And I'm not usually one of those guys who's like, the thumbnail is so important, because I think it's so much more about the content. I mean, Vsauce is a great example of that. His videos are just so good that his thumbnails and titles kind of suck, but it doesn't matter because his videos outweigh that. But for me, I'm like a small YouTuber trying to grow. Like, I know how important the thumbnail is. You got to make a good thumbnail. You know, that cannot be overstated. So, you know, we'll see what I end up going with for this next video, but I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, another person who's good at thumbnails is Dream. I don't know if you've heard of him. The Minecraft YouTuber.
I've of course heard of him, but I'm really not much of a gamer guy, so I don't really watch his videos, but I've heard of Dream.
But yeah, like his thumbnails are like screenshots of the game. And it's like, why would you ever click on this and you end up clicking on it? Which is just so weird. And the titles are like Minecraft Manhunt, dot, and like 70 million views.
Titles are hard too, man.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes people think it's like the length. It's not the length that matters, as long as you don't have it a ... title. That's a pro tip, by the way. Title length doesn't matter, but if you make it too long, you're gonna have a ... title, which is basically YouTube's gonna cut it off with. And I'm not sure exactly what the letter count is. You could look that up. But at a certain like letter
100.
Count, well, 100 is the total. But I think it's like once you get past like maybe 30. TikTok or YouTube will, if you're scrolling on suggested, it won't show the full title. It'll just cut it off because it only gives you 2 lines. And so you get the 2 lines and then ... And so if it's an important title where the best part is at the end, people just aren't going to see that. So yes, the total is 100, but if you make it more than like 30 or 35, it's too long and YouTube's going to cut it. It's just not even worth it at that point, unless you're putting something that's more just like for the algorithm to recognize that, and you don't really care if people see it. Like I think Mr. Beast has done that a couple times where it's like parentheses world record. Like that's more just so like it goes under world record videos and not like so people really see that, because he puts world record in the thumbnail too. But so that's a little pro tip. You don't want your title too long. That's why I'm worried about this next video. It might be too long. 0 to 100,000 TikTok followers in 7 days without doing a single trend. That's like a lot of words. So I don't even know, man. My mind is all over the place, but we're gonna figure it out together.
So how do you come up with your ideas and research your videos? Like, what's the process of that?
How do I come up with my ideas? Well, I mean, it changes again. I mean, I'm making such different content that I was not that long ago, but these days, I mean, you just have to pick a theme for your channel. You have to say, okay, what value am I bringing on this channel, right? And that's a question that's the first question you got to ask is like, what value are you bringing? And for a lot of people, you can say like, oh, I'm bringing this, and this, and that's great. You're bringing a ton of value, but you don't want that. You want to start off just bringing value to a small group of people. So you have to think like, okay, who's my audience, and make that audience as specific as possible, and say, this is who I'm catering to. Because you have to remember, even if you come up with a super specific person in your head who you're making this video to, the world is so big. There's so many of those people in the world. You know what I mean? That would still enjoy your content. So it's like, you come up with that person in your head, and Colin and Samir talked a lot about this. You come up with that person in your head, and you make a video that person that you came up with would absolutely love. And ultimately, there's a lot of those people in the world. So there's gonna be a lot of people that are actually absolutely gonna love this video. Versus if you just try and make a video that's gonna appeal to everybody, then kind of nobody's gonna love it. Like, it's just gonna be kind of mediocre to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, the more specific you make that video, then the person who you're specifically making the video to is going to love it. And even if it alienates some other people, like, it's going to help you. And then you're going to get that whole crowd, and then you can expand a little bit and get bigger crowds. So you got to pick a niche. So for me, I always think like, what value am I bringing? So the value for my channel, the niche that I'm trying to be in, is this tech industry thing. The official tagline of my channel is the stories behind the world's biggest tech. So it's like the things people don't know about the world's biggest tech, right? So it's not reviews. That's like, it's a little bit different. It's not reviews. It's like things in the tech industry. Like, I'm not just going to say like, should you buy the iPhone 12? Because everybody's doing that. It's like, did you know that the iPhone 12 has this hidden feature that you know, or whatever. Or like, I could talk about the next iPhone, or I could be like, there's a revolution happening. The Apple glasses are coming, and they're going to replace the iPhone one day, right? Like, oh, this weird thing that nobody's really talking about, stuff like that. Or like, Google knows so much about you. Here's why, here's how, you know, it's different tech than what the average tech channel talks about. So for me, it's like, how can I come up with an idea that fits into that? Just goes into this like tech industry thing. And also, I say the stories because I really try and focus on telling a good story in my videos and putting a ton of effort and production quality in it too. So that's part of it as well. So when I come up with my ideas, it's like, I come up with things all the time and I'll write them down. But then I always try to think like, how does this fit into that? And that's why I'm struggling with this next video I'm going to make, because I wanted to just call it, I figured out the TikTok algorithm too, which would have been, would have gotten a lot of views, would have attracted a lot of people from the first one, but I don't think it would have passed the first one, because it would have just been like a small, but it would have been like a fraction of people who watched the first, not like a small fraction, but like maybe 3/4, you know? And I felt like that worked with my channel because it's like an algorithm. But this 0 to 100,000 followers in 7 days. I mean, this is not 0 to 100,000 followers in 7 days has nothing to do with tech, right? It seems like it's way out there. But if you watch the video, it's actually pretty similar to the first one. So I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. I feel like it's just the thumbnail and title that are different. But to an average onlooker looking at my channel, that is tough, because it's like, if you watch a video where I talk about the iPhone 12, and then you see that I made a video called 0 to 100,000 TikTok followers, it's like, that kind of has nothing to do with each other. And so it's tough. Coming up with ideas is hard for me, because I'm still kind of trying to find exactly what I want to do with my channel. But this video is going to determine it. I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this video. If this video blows up and gets as many views as the first one, if not more, I'm going to be switching to doing a lot more content like this. Way more videos about algorithms and even just creators in general, right? I never want to be like a social media guru. I don't want to be, here's how to grow on YouTube, right? But I can be more of a Colin and Samir type. Do you know Colin and Samir?
Obviously. Right.
I would hope. They're great. I could be more of a Colin and Samir type. So if this video does really well, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I can make more videos about creators and social media, and maybe talk about some of the things I talked about with you on this podcast. Videos more like that, and kind of start to abandon the tech thing and change my channel. If this video doesn't do super well, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll stick with the tech and maybe stop doing videos like this. But I'm reaching the point where the algorithm videos are straying so far from the other content I'm making that it's like, I'm going to have to pick one. So that's what's going to happen. If this video does insane, I'm going to make a major switch on my channel. I'm going to start making way more videos like this, videos about creators, and yeah, more technology focused than your average, Colin and Samir type YouTubers. But, I'm going to switch to making more videos about social media creators, how people blow up on social media, stuff like that. But again, I don't want to be a social media guru. I'd much rather do almost more like a documentary of like, here's how Charlie D'Amelio got to 100 million followers, right? Not here's how you can do it too, but like, here's how this happened, and here's how the algorithm played a part in it. You know what I mean? That's content I'd be interested in making, but only if this video proves that that's really what does well. Because ultimately, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. My passion is just for making YouTube videos. If you made me switch my theme today, I would do it in a heartbeat. Tech is not something I love. I mean, tech is my favorite videos to watch. That's the videos that I make, but it's not my passion. My passion is just making videos. So, if this is what works, if this creator focused video, the 0 to 100,000 does insane, then this is what works. I'm just going to switch to doing this, because these videos aren't unique. I mean, I say Colin and Samir type, but they're very different, right? Like analyzing videos on a social media platform to look for analytical trends with the algorithm and interviewing creators, as well as trying to get big on my own on social media platforms. I mean, these are things that people aren't really doing that much, especially like the coding, the analyzing videos things. I mean, that no one's really done that. So it is different. And I think if this video blows up, I think I have a recipe for success there. So we'll see. But that's to answer your question. That's how I come up with my ideas. I try to fit them into this niche of the tech industry. But that niche may be switching if this video does really well, which I kind of hope it does. So we'll see. So the answer may be different in the future. Yeah,
I hope it does well too. And I've been experimenting with content too, because I go from podcasts to I don't know, Minecraft videos to vlogs. So I'm just experimenting to see which do better, which don't do better. And
that's good. I think there's this notion that you have to pick a niche and and that is true. I mean, at some point you're going to have to do that. But in the beginning, in order to find the niche that you want to make videos about, you have to experiment. If you don't experiment, if you just start making videos about something, you may grow an audience and then realize that that's not the kind of content you want to make. And then you switch and now you've alienated everyone. And now you're actually in a worse position than when you started. Because if you already have a couple thousand subscribers and then you switch content once you realize that's not really what you want to do and they all stop watching, now you're getting no views on your videos, but you have thousands of subscribers. That sends a terrible message to YouTube. Versus if you just, while you're still at 0 or something, I mean, I'm not saying you, but just in general, if you're at 0, then it's time to experiment. Go for it. And then once you find what works, what gets a lot of views and what you enjoy making, then you focus on that content. But you have to experiment at some point or you're never going to find what works. So, and that's the other thing too, is it's even if you are experimenting, you can still grow an audience, even if you have a lot of different kinds of content. And that's an important thing to remember. They're here for you, right? Again, I'll bring up Ryan Trahan because he's a great example. He's changed his content so much, but his audience has remained largely unchanged. He hasn't really grown that much, to be honest, in the last few years. But if you look at the comments and stuff, I mean, he's got the same loyal, dedicated fans. They've been watching him since he made, the commentary videos. Now he did vlogs over the summer. Now he's doing more Mr. Beast style videos. But they've watched him through all of it because they're there for Ryan. They like Ryan, right?
For his personality.
What are you gonna say?
For his personality.
Exactly. They're there for Ryan, and so he can kind of make whatever videos he wants, and they're just gonna watch them. And that's an important thing to remember too. Is it's don't be too afraid to venture out of your niche. The audience at the end of the day is subscribing because they like you, right? They like you, they like how you talk, and they want to hear from you. So if you start talking about something else, they're still probably going to watch it. And if they're still interested in it, they'll definitely still watch it. So even if it's not really in the same niche, if I'm a tech channel and I'm talking about phones, they're also probably somewhat interested in how algorithms work, right? It's kind of similar. And if it's me, there's a pretty good chance they're going to watch the video because they've liked my other videos. You know what I mean? So that's an important thing to remember too, is at some point you kind of got to pick a niche, and kind of make videos all of the same genre, but they're there for you. And so if you have to experiment, you should. Don't be afraid to experiment. They're going to watch it anyways. You may not be able to grow that fast when experimenting because they're confusing the algorithm, but you're not going to lose the subscribers that you have. They're going to keep watching, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and because I have this problem where I don't only want to post podcasts because I also want to make other types of videos, and totally. I'm doing podcasts once a week because I have a ton of them I need to upload. So and I also want to do other types of videos. So it's kind of hard because I uploaded a podcast that got 10 subscribers, and after a normal video, I lost 5 of them, which is kind of difficult because I don't want to only post podcasts. So,
right. Maybe make a second channel for the podcast.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. So I'm kind of in a difficult position. I'll have to figure out.
Right. You can do both, but you just at some point you may have to decide what do you like more?
Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah. So I don't know why not just start a second channel then for the podcast and kind of grow, all under the same brand, but with a similar name to the channel, but that are just a little bit different.
Yeah. But like, I don't know how I would do it because I already have all my podcasts on this channel. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna re-upload
That's
them.
tough. You could re-upload all of them, but what you can also do is start a channel called like Nico Podcast Clips, and you can upload clips from podcasts that have already been uploaded onto that channel. And then you've got.
I can do that on my main channel in like 2, which is like.
Right, but
we'll
that's not usually a good idea. I wouldn't upload clips onto the main channel because, again, you do want to kind of stay to a similar-ish genre. And typically with podcasts, I mean, I'm not doing a podcast, but if I were you, I would start a podcast clips channel, and you can upload the full, or just call it the podcast channel, but upload full podcasts as well as clips onto that channel. And it's okay. No one's going to be mad at you if you don't have to necessarily delete old podcasts from your main channel, but you can re-upload them onto the podcast channel.
Yeah.
In fact, I think people are going to enjoy that because they've seen that, it's just an easier way for them to watch it. If they want to watch a bunch of podcasts or a bunch of clips, having them all on one channel is actually helpful. So no one's gonna be mad if you re-upload the same podcast. So, I mean, if I were you, and again, like this is, you don't have to take this advice, but if I were you, I would start a podcast channel and upload all the podcasts you've already made onto the channel, as well as clips from the podcast that you think are specifically fun or interesting and that would do well. Maybe you could make this one, a clip about a clip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go. And upload clips and podcasts onto the channel and just start growing on there. And that way you can kind of grow the 2 audiences, but definitely make sure that each channel knows about each other. Like, don't make it a secret. A lot of YouTubers do that, but they start a second channel, they start a podcast, and it's like they're not really promoting the podcast, but they promote their channel on the podcast. So it's like, for example, Colin and Samir, I mean, they're great, but like I guess they'd be an example of someone who does do it. They actually, on their channel, they're always like, but you can go onto our podcast channel and hear about this. But then there's like, okay, here's an example of someone who doesn't really do that. You know Graham Stephan?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Yeah, Graham Stephan is great, but like I've been watching him for years and I didn't even know he had a podcast. Like, he does promote it a little, but yeah, I know.
What?
He doesn't really promote it. He has a second channel called The Graham Stephan Show that he doesn't really promote at all. And then he also has a podcast called The Iced Coffee Hour. He doesn't really promote either of them, and you would never even know about it. So you just have to make sure the 2 audiences know about each other. And he actually said, because I was listening to, speaking of Colin and Samir, that's why I brought him up, Graham Stephan was on their podcast, and he was saying how a lot of people who watch the Graham Stephan Show don't even know he has a main channel. They don't even know he has Graham Stephan main channel. They just watch him for his reaction videos on the Graham Stephan Show. Right, and a lot of people who watch his main channel don't know about his second channel. And it's like, well, dude, you can change that. You can grow both audiences if you tell them about each other. It doesn't have to be a secret, you know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not one to be giving Graham Stephan YouTube advice. I mean, he knows much more than I do. In fact, shout out to him. He's actually, he's commented on a ton of my videos. He's a huge fan, which is an honor because I'm a huge fan of him. But yeah, like if you're going to do a second channel, just make sure that the 2 audiences know about each other and they're all under one brand. Like, link the channels together, use the same logo, but like a little bit different, be like a different color. Stuff like that is going to make sure people understand that they're like all under the same brand. You know what I mean? But that's my advice to you if I were you. Yeah,
I am probably going to make a clips channel. And like, because like my podcast, like logo is just like my YouTube logo, but with like Nicocast below. So it's the same thing. So yeah, right after this podcast, or after I'm done editing it, I'll be making the clips channel.
Awesome. I mean, that's just my advice to you, because if you want to keep your main channel consistent, having podcasts uploaded along with your regular content can get a little bit distracting, and people have certainly done it, but typically it's better to just start a second channel for that. Yeah, but the clips are definitely going to go on a different channel. Yeah, you can also put clips on like TikTok. TikTok, again, is really easy to grow. What'd you say? I've been posting them on TikTok. I've been trying to. Awesome. Promoting them on my channel. Promoting my channel on TikTok too. So that's great. It's really hard to convert an audience, though, I have to say. I mean, I hit 100,000 in a week, but I barely got any of them to subscribe to my YouTube. I even made a TikTok basically begging them to subscribe. I was like, I've got this crazy video coming out talking about how I got to 100,000 in the last week. Don't you all want to find out? Go subscribe to my YouTube. I gained like 1,000 from that, which kind of sounds like a lot, but the video got like 50,000 views. Like, it's very hard to convert people from one platform to another, because I think not only is it just hard in practice, but it's frowned upon by TikTok. They don't want that. They want you to stay on TikTok. So it's like, I think they almost don't promote that. Like they try to hide those videos that are trying to get you cross-platform. So it is tough to convert through. But if you get big enough on TikTok, you'll start to notice it. Like if I had
Yeah.
1 million on TikTok, yeah, I could probably convert, 10,
10,000.
20,000 onto YouTube.
Yeah. I just subscribed to your TikTok right now.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. You'll
You're
see I
welcome.
haven't uploaded on there in about a week, but that was all
Yeah,
those
that's
videos
fine.
were uploaded for the 7-day experiment. So I'm just waiting. I'm gonna wait until I finish the video because I'm just devoting all my time towards the YouTube video right now. Once the video is done, I'll start uploading again on TikTok. And I'll just do tech content, kind of like what I talked about on YouTube, but it'll just be for fun at that point, right? Right now, obviously the TikTok has been part of an experiment, but as soon as the experiment is concluded and I upload the video, it'll just become regular again. Like I'll just start doing regular videos on it.
Yeah. So what are your goals for YouTube? Like, what do you want to accomplish in the future of your
Like
channel?
this year or just in general?
In general.
Well, I want to be a professional. I mean, I want to make it into a career, which is a really lofty goal. It's loftier than people think because there's a lot that goes into it. But I've been talking with a lot of people, and the amount of support in the YouTube community is always amazing. I don't know if you've seen the app Clubhouse, but I was on there and I was talking with a lot of people, and they were giving me some advice that I guess I was on this YouTube thing, and there were people on there that were not. I'm gonna be honest, they weren't giving me the greatest advice. But so one of the YouTubers was listening though, like listened to it, and I was like, he was like, okay, like this is not good advice, but he believed so much in me and my channel and just like in the community. I mean, he didn't even really know me, but he heard them giving bad advice and he cared enough. His name is Daniel Schiffer. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
Yeah, I love his videos.
He makes like commercials. So he cared enough to actually DM me on Instagram. He's like, hey, like I want to talk to you. Like I want to talk to you about your channel. And he's like, I just watched a bunch of your videos and I want to give you like actual advice. And he gave me some really helpful advice. We kind of talked about what I'm talking about with you and how tech content kind of has a ceiling and changing your content to make it more appealing. And he's another great example of someone who has grown really big, making kind of niche content. I mean, he's doing like how to make commercial tutorials, so it's different, but he's grown really big. And he talked to me a lot about that. It was amazing to talk to him. And so, connecting with YouTubers has just been amazing. And like, I never would have thought I'd be talking to Daniel Schiffer, but he just like FaceTimes me. Like, it's amazing, So I love that. I love how open the whole community is. So I guess that's one of my goals is just to meet more people. And grow in that retrospect, like make more friends on the YouTube space. I mean, that's just been amazing how many people I've DM'd with and the companies that will like want to FaceTime with me to like talk with me. And I mean, it's like amazing. Like everyone's so nice. So that's one thing. I mean, as far as subscriber goals, I think that's a tough thing. Subscriber goals are always hard because it's like, you don't want to put too much pressure, but I mean, 100,000 is the goal for 2021. So we'll see if we get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I guess I've said 3 things, right? I said making it up to professional. Yeah, you got to get a sponsor. I got to get a consistent sponsorship for that too. So I did my first sponsorship on my last video, and that was kind of bad, to be honest. I mean, I had vidIQ as my sponsor, and vidIQ, hey, if you're listening to this, like, what's up? Like, you guys are nice to me, but like, it's not really a sponsor, and it's not their fault. But they kind of asked me.
Did they reach out to you?
Yeah, they reached out to me. They said, hey, like, we want you to like promote us. And I was like, okay. So I hop on a call, and they're like, they basically kind of said that you're basically just doing affiliate links, but they made it sound more like it was a sponsor. They were like, if you get a lot of referrals, we'll like have you on our podcast. We'll put you in our videos. And again, I still would love to do that, but
did you go on their podcast?
No, because listen, it's not their fault, but they hyped me up a little bit too much. Like they think they made a lot of promises they couldn't really keep because they were like, if you bring in a lot of people with the affiliate links, you'll make money and we'll bring you on our podcast and they will put you on our channel. And again, I was honored. Like that was amazing. I mean, I've been watching vidIQ for years. But then I did it and the video got like a few thousand views, but I referred like 30 people. Like the referral link was not very big. And again, that's not their fault necessarily. But what I didn't realize is, and again, I don't know if I was just on a misunderstanding, but they made it sound like I was getting paid to do this based on the referrals of the affiliate link. But I'm literally giving people a free trial with my code. You use code Jack Gordon and you get a free trial. If you're getting a free trial, I can't make a commission of a free trial. It's free, so I haven't actually made any money from that, which is kind of odd. So I'm not sure. I don't think they were trying to scam me or anything. I think I kind of had a misunderstanding, but yeah, I was under the impression that I was going to be paid and I'm giving away a free trial, which is not and I can't get paid for a free trial. So anyways, whatever. So that was my first sponsorship. I have another one coming up with a vacuum company called Eufy. They sent me a robo vacuum, which is pretty cool. And I'll probably talk about that eventually. I got to get back in contact with them. I haven't emailed with them in like a month. But I want to like find a consistent sponsorship, you know, like I want to, Samsung is the dream brand because Samsung is so great in that they just go balls to the walls. Like they release so many phones and so many things and so many tech devices that they can kind of just do everything. So for my channel, they're perfect. I talk a lot about like kind of weird tech or, you know, tech no one really knows about that's like pioneering for the future. And Samsung is the king of that, right? Folding phones. And I bet they'll be one of the first rollable phones. Like they pioneer technology. And so they would be amazing for my channel. If I could have them like send me the Galaxy Fold, like, oh my God, that'd be insane. So they're the dream brand.
Amazing.
So that's a goal, is to get in contact with Samsung and have them as like a consistent sponsorship. Because I know, again, speaking of Colin and Samir, they're like huge with Samsung. They have like a consistent sponsorship with them. So that would be a dream, is to work with Samsung. That's like my dream brand. But yeah, I mean, 100,000 subscribers is the goal, and also make it into a career eventually. And I guess if we're speaking long term, like I'm a junior, so we're looking a lot at colleges. I mean, I told you I couldn't do it yesterday because I was doing the ACT yesterday. Like I couldn't do this interview. I don't know if you even know the ACT. I don't know if there's an ACT where you live, but that's like the SAT. So. Yeah, it's like, just like the SAT, but there's, where I live in the Midwest, you can do SAT or ACT. They're like similar, but they're a little bit different.
I don't know.
Yeah, SAT and ACT, they're like for colleges and stuff. But the reason I bring that up is because we're talking a lot about like colleges and like kind of like the future, you know, and that's why I'm starting to take YouTube more seriously, because my parents are like, so like, what do you want to major in college? Like, where do you want to go to college? Like, what are you gonna, like, if you have any career paths, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I'm like, yeah, well, I want to do YouTube, but it's like, where does that leave me in college, you know? And I think a lot of YouTubers don't go to college. But I do think I need to go to college, because not only is it helpful to have the degree, but when I'm doing the kind of videos if YouTube fails, right? But also because the videos I'm doing are more educational, you know, like I kind of got to know what I'm talking about. So I'd love to learn more about the actual things I talk about in my videos, so I can be more knowledgeable, as well as if I'm really trying to make it into a career, you got to know how to build a brand. So maybe I'll go to business school or something like that, or marketing school. Talked with Daniel Schiffer about this. He said he did marketing in college, and that he feels like that really helped him. So we'll see. But that's my plan. That's another goal, is just go to college and get a good education, and, you know, learn more about how to grow my channel, and, you know, just kind of find, I guess the biggest goal is just kind of find what I want to do, you know, kind of find a consistent thing. I thought I found it, but then I started making these algorithm videos and they did so well that I was like, maybe this is what I want to do. I don't know. Like, it's just hard. It's like, I'm always like switching my content, and it's like, this is doing better than any content I've ever made. So it's like, do I stick with this? But like, how far can I really push this? Like, how many times can I analyze the TikTok algorithm? You know, like this, I thought for right now, it's just a series on my channel, but it's like, do I want to make this my whole channel? Like, I don't know. So like, I'm excited to get this next video out, but I have no idea what my video after this is going to be. Like, if this one does well, I'll probably do another one like this and start making more of these. If it does okay, I'll probably do another tech one. But it's so weird, because like every algorithm video gets like 40, 50, 100,000 views or 500,000 views. And then the tech ones get like a few thousand on average, or maybe like 10,000. So like, that should send a clear message to me that like, oh, the tech isn't working. But then like, I asked my channel, and like on the community poll, like half the people said they want to see the tech content, you know? So it's like, you got to pick a side. Like, yeah, the videos that get a lot of views are the algorithm ones, but the tech content is easier to make. I can upload more frequently when I'm doing that stuff. A lot of people still enjoy it. And so if I stop doing it completely, it would alienate a lot of my audience, and I still enjoy it. Like, I can't make algorithm videos forever. Like, the concept of analyzing the algorithm, there's only like 4 social medias. So yeah, I can do part 2s with each of them. I can do 2 parts for each of the 4 social medias. Now you've got 8 videos. You know, it's just hard to make a channel out of that. So I don't know. It's hard to find the balance. And if I like grow to 100,000 subscribers off of this series on the algorithm, like, great, it'd be amazing. But if they're all here expecting more algorithm videos, like, I don't know where to take that. So they're gonna be disappointed when I start doing more videos about like the iPhone 13. You know what I mean? So it's just hard to find the balance. So that's the big goal, is just find what I want to make.
Yeah, you should do like analytic videos, because a lot of people are like wondering like, what are the analytics for viral videos? Like, what click through, but you need to have them. A lot of people probably wonder what that is, so that video will probably do well too. Jack Sucks Life did that. Those videos did well.
Love Jack Sucks at Life.
Same. And did you talk to Daniel Schiffer through DMs, right?
So he DM'd me because he heard me in the clubhouse and he was like, hey, like I checked out your channel, like I have some advice for you. And so then I left the clubhouse and I went onto Instagram. I left the clubhouse like nicely. I wasn't like, okay, bye, I'm going to go talk to Daniel Schiffer. But I finished nicely. And then I went onto Instagram and I did like an Instagram FaceTime with him and I talked with him for like a half hour. Yeah.
Wow, you were so lucky. I've been trying to get on my podcast. I was
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Maybe I'll text him. Yeah, I'll let him know. Yeah, that's so cool though. Like, yeah, like that's the kind of thing that like it's just so unique to the YouTube community. Like he's 2 million subscribers. Like in most industries, you know, he would be very high up there. Like if I was you know, a financial investor or something, I mean, he'd be like one of the Shark Tank guys, you know, like he's big. So like he would be hard to just get in touch with. Like, but because it's YouTube, like he's right there. Like he's just a regular guy, kind of. I mean, if that makes sense. Like he's very approachable, and that's what's so great about YouTube.
Yeah.
You can just kind of be more approachable than, you know, the higher ups in most industries. You know, even the Marquez. Like Marquez is to YouTube what like Justin Timberlake or like Justin Bieber or like any other mainstream celebrity is to like the regular celebrity world. And I mean, I would honestly argue Marquez Brownlee has a lot of the same fame as like not them, but like some really huge celebrities. Like he's a household name. I mean, Mr. Beast, yeah, but yeah, for sure, Mr. Beast. But the reason I bring up Marquez Brownlee is because like he commented on one of my videos. Like you would never. I did a video called recreating Marquez Brownlee's intro shots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which again, I mean, talk about different content. I was doing that just a few months ago, you know, so I'm kind of all over the place. But so that was in May actually, and he commented. But like that, having the equivalent of famous person in another industry comment on your videos would like cost you $100. You have to like pay them to like do it, and you probably wouldn't even be them; it'd be like an assistant. But that was like actually Marquez even like brought it up on the podcast, you know, because it's just YouTube is just so different where everyone's just so personable and nice. You know what I mean? No, but like the equivalent in like the celebrity world would be like if who's like a big celebrity that's like equivalent in fame to Marquez Brownlee? I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say though.
No, I was supposed to try D'Amelio, but
no, she is. She's bigger, but she's also in the social media world. I know it's hard. We're so stuck in the social media world.
I think
I'm thinking like mainstream celebrity, like Selena Gomez. If Selena Gomez commented on my video, like people would go berserk. But let's be real here. Like, how much more famous is Selena Gomez than Marquez Brownlee? More famous, yes.
Only like a couple.
Like only in today's generation.
If you think about
honestly, if you polled millennials, if they knew Marquez Brownlee and Selena Gomez, I bet as many people know Marquez Brownlee and Selena Gomez in our generation, like millennials and Gen Z.
Or like
everyone would be like, oh yeah, Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee, you know? Like that's what everyone like people like, yeah, I know him. Like everybody knows him.
Or so like Ninja and I don't know.
Right. I bet you
Ariana Grande, something like that.
I bet if you polled Gen Z, more people know who Ninja is than Selena Gomez.
Yeah, that's
Ariana Grande would tap them all because she's huge. But Selena Gomez, that was a good example because she's like way out of it. She's not out of it, but like she's just been around for a while. Where like kids our age.
Or like Camila Cabello.
Yeah. I bet Marquez Brownlee is like as recognizable as her. Like seriously though, I mean, someone's gotta maybe I could do that. Someone's gotta figure that out and like track like who's the most famous. You know?
I'm probably like whenever I go back to the US, I'm probably gonna like ask people like if they like to like kids, if they know like who Marcus Brown, like Mr. Beast, and if they know who like Selena Gomez is. Yeah.
Where are you from?
Mexico.
Oh wow, that's awesome. What part?
The peninsula. Nice. Around like Tulum, all that places, very close.
Is that like that's like south of California? Or is it, what part is that?
It's like really close to Florida.
Oh, so the other way.
Yeah.
Go by like Cancun, that area?
Yeah, that area.
Okay.
So what is your like main advice for anyone who wants to become a YouTuber?
My main advice would be tell a story with your videos. I think that's really important. I mean, with the thumbnail and title, yeah, you want to do like setup and conflict, but in your videos, you want to tell a story. So, you know, for example, you might be making a tech review and maybe this is just an example. Maybe you're doing a review of the iPhone 12, right? Doesn't seem like you could do a great story there. But if you watch people like Vsauce or Captain Disillusion, that look great with that. Captain Disillusion, I think, is the best example because he literally makes videos about how visual effects are done. So he'll take like a viral video that was kind of faked with visual effects and like, here's how they did it, right? Which is kind of a fun concept, but he's not just doing a screen recorded After Effects tutorial. He easily could and get the same information through, But instead, it's an incredibly high production quality video that tells a story. And there's a clear, literally like a setup, a conflict in the video, like a typical conflict in a story, like his wife, who is a god that is like floating in the air, is like jealous of him, and like she's trying to solve it too, and she believes it's real, and he has to prove to her that it's not real, and he's using visual effects, and then she's sad, but then it's okay, and like it's like this whole incredible story where it's like you're watching like a movie there, you know. And so he's a great example. You don't need that. But like Mr. Beast is a more conventional example where, you know, he'll give away $100,000, and it's like, you know, you could just have them all put their hand on the money and like, last person to take it off keeps it. That'd be a pretty boring video, right? So let, you know, tell a story here. Give these people kind of an arc, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Tempt them. Oh, here's a $10,000 unicorn with Apple products on it. Like, do you want to get off now? You know, tell that story. Set up conflict. They're all these characters. It's like the conflict of you're rooting for someone. Oh, I don't want to see them leave. Wait, no, don't leave, right? That's how Mr. Beast does it. And everyone has their own strategies, but having that set up conflict or resolution, and again, doesn't have to be a typical conflict, right? In a phone review, it's hard to have a conflict, but you can make it work, right? If you're doing a phone review, you could be like telling a million great things about the phone, and then be like, and then start to allude to maybe there's a bad part, and then be like, but here's the problem. And then you get to the bad part. But then you say, but here's why the good outweighs the bad, or whatever. I mean, maybe the bad outweighs the good, but then you conclude. Maybe it's a happy ending, maybe it's a sad ending, but you start off with a setup, then you get to a conflict, like, but the camera is like this, and this is an issue. And then you say, but here's the final verdict, right? There you go, set up conflict or resolution. And you try to kind of delay that conflict for a while. And if you're doing a tech review, for example, you could kind of allude to it for a while. And Marquez Brownlee's actually done that, where he'll kind of start the video and he'll be like, the video is called like the main problem with the OnePlus 8T, the one problem with the OnePlus 8T. And the whole video, he's like, but that's not the real problem with the OnePlus 8T. And he keeps getting to it, and it keeps kind of getting closer and closer. And he's like, but here's the problem with
the OnePlus 8T. Keeps like people wondering, like, well,
exactly. You want to keep on the edge of your seat, alluding to that conflict. When you get to the conflict, then you get to the resolution. And I mean, that's a very simple story, but you know, watching videos that tell a story, you'll get really inspired. And that's why I so recommend Caption Disillusion, because he does the best job of it. His videos, again, very, you know, in their you know, subject matter seem kind of conventional. Just do like a tutorial on how to do the visual effects, but his videos are film quality. I mean, his videos are, he puts visual effects in his own videos. So he'll spend months on each of his videos, and they're, you know, 20 minutes long for something that should take like 5 minutes to explain, but because he'll do these deep dives into the research, and he'll give you interesting facts about it and tell a story in the video about how, you know, sometimes he'll even spoof himself, or the story is like he's debunking all these effects, and then he'll be like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I debunking things? Like, why can't I just accept reality? And why am I such a skeptic? And, you know, it's like he's you know, kind of in a meta way, like taking this concept of like an explained video and like parodying it in and of itself, you know? I mean, he's just done it all. So he's a great example of someone who's taken it to a whole other extreme. But if you're just doing more regular content, I mean, Mr. Beast is a great example. And if you're doing vlogs, Casey Neistat is the best example. He somehow was able to do it pretty much every day. I mean, some vlogs are better than others, but pretty much every day for like 2 years. And that's really what set Casey apart from every other vlogger. You could do time lapses, you could do drone shots, you could do it all, but he told a story. He woke up every day, he said, how am I going to do a setup, conflict, and resolution in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 in this vlog, you know? And that's what's so great about Casey. He was able to tell a story through his regular mundane life every day. And that's a talent. Most people can't do that. But that's, I mean, if you're doing vlogs, it's tough because it's like it's live. You don't know what's going to happen, but you have to edit together in a way, or kind of film it in a way that it's a story. And Casey Neistat, and if you need some examples, watch almost any Casey Neistat vlog, and there's a great example. And it's really hard that he got it down. And he'll take any mundane day and he'll turn it into a great story. And so whatever kind of content you're doing, just turn it into a great story. It's going to keep people watching the whole way through. You know, most people don't walk out of a movie, right? You start the movie and you don't walk out, because even though it's 2 hours long, you should get bored, but you're so invested in these characters and this story. In a YouTube video, if you're spending 10 minutes explaining something, no one's invested, right? So people can easily walk out 5 minutes.
Stop watching.
Exactly. So if you're trying to increase your audience retention time, get them invested. You don't necessarily need characters, but you need some sort of plot. Make it more of a story. It doesn't have to be fiction, but just edit it in such a way, film it in such a way that it has a story. And again, I know I'm being intentionally vague here because I want you guys to go watch these creators. So again, if you're an explained channel, here's your homework assignment for everyone listening. If you make videos kind of explaining something like this, setting it behind a desk, kind of explaining things, go watch Vsauce and Captain Disillusion. This is just my opinion. Vsauce, Captain Disillusion do this the best. They tell stories while still being kind of behind it, sitting in a chair, right? If you make vlogs and you're trying to tell compelling stories with your everyday life, you have hundreds and hundreds of examples in Casey Neistat. And he's not the only one that does it, but a lot of people do it. And they do a great job of it. And if you're doing something in between, then I'm sure there's other YouTubers that work for you. I mean, Mr. Beast will work for everybody if you take some tips from him. So that's my biggest advice. You just got to tell a story. And that's what's going to keep people watching and keep people entertained and really set your videos apart.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the end of the podcast. That was some great advice. Thank you so much, Jack, for coming on the podcast. So before we end, is there anything you want to promote?
You know what? Before we end, I feel like I've brought up magic both the times I've been on this podcast. I feel like I should show you a magic trick. Are you okay with that?
I was about to ask because I saw you were like
one. Listen, I've got 2 decks here actually. I want you to just choose. We want to use the red deck or the blue deck. I actually don't even care.
Yes. The blue one.
Blue one? Okay. We'll start with the blue one and then maybe we'll switch to the red one afterwards. Because I just happen to have 2 decks in my pocket. All right, we'll give the deck a shuffle just like this. Nico, you see all the different cards?
Yes.
Yeah, I want you to just name any card you'd like. Any card in the deck.
Eight
of what?
Ace of squares. Ace. Yeah.
Ace of, so you've got hearts, spades, clubs, and diamonds.
Spades.
Ace of spades?
Yes.
All right. Look at this. I'm going to find your card. The ace of spades. Yes, it has been found. Thank you very much. Just kidding. That's not the trick. But I did, in fact, find your card, the ace of spades. It was in the deck. And I'm so glad you picked the ace of spades. You know why?
Why?
Because the ace of spades is actually the best card in the whole deck. Look, I'm going to stand up so you can see. You see, when you stick the ace of spades inside of the middle, see going inside of the middle there, I might miss. But if you stick it in like that, what's weird about the ace of spades, you can just give it a snap and it jumps onto the top. Isn't that weird? Yeah, look, I'll do it again. See the ace of spades? It goes inside of the middle. You see? Ace of spades, you push it in like that, and somehow you just give it a snap and it jumps onto the... Wait a minute, that's not the ace of spades. Wait, stop. If you just take the ace of spades like that, you just give it a shake, changes into the ace of spades. Isn't that weird? Yeah, look, the ace of spades, it goes inside of the middle like that. Yeah, it goes inside of the middle. And just like that, you just give it a snap and it still jumps onto the top. Look, I don't get it either, okay? See, ace of spades, it's just crazy. You stick it inside of the middle like that, you stick it in and yet it's still on the top. Look, it's so weird, right? But remember, I mean, you could have picked any of these cards and you went with the ace of spades. Yeah, it's just a really weird card that it does that. Look, I'll show you one more time here. See, stick the ace of spades inside of the middle like that. So it's not on the top and it's not on the bottom. See, on the top is the 6 of clubs though. So if you take the 6 of clubs and just go 1, 2 like that, it just changes into the ace of spades. Yeah, isn't that weird? Look, I'll do it one more time.
Slow that down in editing.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, look, I'm going to show you. Look, ace of spades goes inside of the middle. See it? Really is going inside of the middle. I'm even pushing it in the other direction. So you can actually see it inside of the middle, and there's no way that you can lose track of it. See? All you've got to do, though, is just give the deck a rub like that. And you can just change it, make the ace of spades jump onto the top. Yeah, look, I'll do it one more time, okay? Ace of spades inside of the middle. But there's no way you trust me at this point. No way. So I'll show you. Look, ace of spades is, in fact, going inside of the middle. Look, I'll even push it in with my elbow so that you know I'm not doing anything. See? Mm-hmm. I got it in my mouth. No, that's okay. I got dropped a card there. Okay, ace of spades. Look, I'm going to do one more thing with it, okay? I've made it go on to the top a million times. I've even made it jump into my mouth. But I'm going to just show you one last time. I want it to go inside of the middle like that and give it a snap. It jumps onto the top. But you've seen that 100 times, so I'm going to change it up. Watch, I'm going to give the ace of spades a bend. That way, there's no way you can lose track of it because it looks different from all the other cards. See, look. You stick the ace of spades inside of the middle. You see that bend there?
Yeah.
See, it's a little bit different. So when you put the other cards on top, there's no way you could lose track of it. See? Watch. You see that? One card jumps onto the top with a little bit of a bend in it. The ace of spades. I know, it's crazy.
What?
Look, one last time. We stick the ace of spades inside of the middle of the deck. I know, it's crazy. Look, ace of spades goes inside of the middle like this. Look, I'll push it in with my elbow, but I promise. No, look, I won't get it in my mouth. Okay, look, it's not in my mouth. See? All right, look, we're going to push the deck together. We're going to shuffle the deck like that. I'm going to give the deck a fancy one-handed cut like that. And I'm going to go through here and try and find your card using just my sense of touch for the big finale. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a really hard one here. So I'm actually just going to try and find 5 cards. And if one of them is your card, I think that'd be pretty impressive. Look at this. 5 cards have been found. You've got the 2 of hearts. That's not your card, but that's okay. You've got the ace of spades. That's your card. You've got the king of spades. You've got the 5 of spades. And you've got the joker. Not bad, but not very good either. So let's be real here, right? There's 52 cards in a deck of playing cards. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in my hand, right? So that's not very impressive. That's like a 1 in 10 chance. But let's see if we can actually take that luck and actually turn it into a little bit of magic. Watch, we just take the cards like this and just give them a little bit of wave. They get a little bit thinner. Do you see that? Yeah, they get a little bit thinner. And the reason for that is because you may not have noticed this because you can actually see the deck the entire time. But, I used to have 5 cards, but now I just have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. You see that? Yeah. Your card, the ace of spades, is no longer here. But sitting in frame this entire time has been 1 deck of playing cards. I haven't touched it, right? 1 deck of playing cards has been here the entire time. And inside of the middle of the deck, sandwiched in between all of the other cards, is 1 card facing the other direction. 1 card. The ace of spades. Your card. I know, it's crazy. You just could not have picked a better card. The ace of spades. It's so ambitious. It always just wants to jump back onto the top. But you know what? A lot of people ask me how I do this, and I'll be honest. I'll tell you a little something here. It's actually just done with palming, right? You go like this. It kind of looks like the card is gone, but of course it's right there inside of my hand there. But if you're really good, you can make the palming look really smooth like that, right? So smooth, in fact, you can actually just separate your fingers and show that it really is gone, but it's actually here. It's inside of the camera. Do you see that? Yeah, I've got it. Just to make it visible, you go 1, 2, 3 like that. It jumps back inside of the deck. Look, I can even do it without the deck. See, you just take the ace of spades like this. You just go 1, 2 like that. It's gone. It's not on that side, not on that side, because of course it's on that side. Look, one last time here. You just go like this, and it, whoa, it fell on the ground. One more time. Look, you just go like that. It vanishes like this, and then yeah. All right, look, I'm going to do one more time here, okay? Ace of spades. Look, I want you to see it's going inside of the middle of the deck, okay? I'm not even going to touch it. See, inside of the middle. Look, holding the deck inside of the middle. You see?
Yeah.
I'm going to go behind my back right now and just using my sense of touch without even seeing it, I'm going to try and find your card and flip it over, okay? I'm going to flip the card over, and that's my big finale, all right? Flip the card over. Let's try this. Deck of cards, behind my back, flip your card over using just my sense of touch. Here we go. Done. I flipped it over. Now, I didn't say I wouldn't flip the whole deck over with it, but I flipped it over. Just kidding. No, I really did go inside. I found 1 card inside of the middle, facing the other direction, inside of the middle. I did this behind my back, by the way. It even took a few seconds. The ace of spades. I know, it's crazy, right? Yeah. I'm just so glad you picked the ace of spades and not the 3 of spades. The 3 of spades often gets confused with the ace of spades there. But I'm just so glad you picked the ace of spades. Yeah. The ace of spades. All right, that's all I got with the ace of spades. Pretty cool, right? I think you're muted, but that's okay.
That is going on the Clips channel. Wow.
Yeah.
That was an amazing magic trick. Thank you so much, Jack, for coming on the podcast. And I'll see you next episode of the Nicocast.